And as I mentioned, exports also contribute mightily to the prices of U.S. cattle and hogs. And Max had a chance to sit down with Dan Halstrom, the CEO and president of the U.S. Meat Export Federation, to talk about just how those exports have been performing.
The demand has been very resilient globally. We're on record pace this year, both beef and pork. And we're looking at 10 billion or more on the beef export side, which would be by far a record over 2018. And the pork side was a record last year, but we're slightly ahead of last year's number. But exciting thing about what's going on is it's broad-based growth. It's not just one country. I mean, we're seeing growth in Japan, Korea, China on the beef side, but also Latin America, places like Central America, for example, a lot of growth there. So that's the exciting part.
Am I correct that sometimes our meat exports involve products that really we don't have a good, strong domestic market for, but they are certainly welcome in other countries?
Exactly. You hit right on it, Max. We don't ship a lot of middle meats overseas, for example. They stay here. But we ship a lot of rounds, we ship a lot of chuck rolls, a lot of short plates, and then the thing that people forget about, the variety meats. Of our 10 billion in beef exports this year, 1 billion of it will be beef variety meats, and we'll be near 1 billion on pork variety meats as well. So think something like a beef tongue is a delicacy in Japan. I don't remember the last time I had beef tongue here.
Yeah, I was a very young man.
Yeah.
Come to think about it. The one thing that we're seeing is not just the growth in volume, but also in value too, right?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, as we all know, the inputs going up, corn and soybeans, et cetera, fertilizer, you go right on down the list. The outputs have to go up as well. And the good news is, at least so far, the demand's been resilient and they're willing to pay the price. So that's a good thing, at least for the moment.
We got a reminder almost every hour of those ships that are parked out there waiting to deliver into the United States. And of course, that challenge, I'm sure, involves movement of product out of the U.S. What's happening there with our exports of meat? Are there areas of concern?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, all the momentum that we have on the outbound, the export side, this is a threat, a big threat, of getting our products out in a timely fashion. We have a shortage of containers that's well publicized. We have this backlog of ships. Long Beach, I think, was 50-some vessels. They're backlogged out there this morning. But it's beyond that. I mean, there's a shortage of truck drivers to truck the cargo. There's a shortage of chassis to load the containers on. There's a whole myriad of, it's very complex, this shipping situation. So the good news in all this is that we have a lot of awareness of the issue, especially the last 3 or 4 months. And we're starting to see some progress. Long Beach recently announced going to 24/7 hours, shipping hours versus abbreviated time frames. We're seeing some waivers on over-the-road weights for these containers, which will help move volume. But we have a long way to go. We have to stay focused on this issue because the sale's not complete till it gets to the customer wherever it might be around the world.
Thank you, Max. Dan also mentioned that trade agreements are crucial to securing access to these other countries.